got ourselves Team Troop, and Troop is going to be first up. Trying to see, and not even giving Janari a, oh my god. Troop, you can't. Yo, hold up. Can we make an adjustment, boys? Can we do this? Could we give Janari another chance, man? I feel like they weren't given a proper opportunity there. I feel like they weren't given a proper opportunity. Could we get a res real quick? Athaman, could you res him and give him another chance? I feel like this man walked in and Troop just kind of took his head off. Can we give Janari another chance? Janari, it's your second chance. You're given the second chance to compete. Give it your best shot. Trying to see if we can go for a bit of a flame. Gonna be a metamorphosis. Wait, Janari actually given a proper chance? Fits the Fury flying in. Ivan to fall. Gets reversal. Big kick. All right. Now, it's going to be a cruel and unusual punishment at that point. Let's let Janari be on the ground. Let's let him lie. Let Leroy go next. Big damage to the Troop. Does have a karma. Leroy with a hunt. Trying to see if he can just body him down. Troop activating every defensive. Trying to go for a bit of a reset behind the pillar. Leroy is actually forcing every defensive out of him. Fist of Fury. Trying to see if he can lock him down. But that's going to be a quick Fear Sigil. Does Leroy have any more damage to follow? He has CC on Troop Monk, doesn't really have a lot of health of his own, does he have enough damage, Blade Dance to follow, Troop gets super low, and Leroy does end up swiping him out. Trinkets rushes over to him, cuts him down. With Dalaran gonna be up next. Try to see if he can maybe lock down Leroy. Leroy did have a pre-blur for this one, so immunity versus Dalaran as he's trying to see if he can back up out of there. Gonna be a big IBM with a fly up for Leroy, just trying to take it to the skies. Is that gonna be enough though? Dalaran taking a bit of damage, but Leroy is kind of exposed. He can't really go anywhere. Dalaran is just going for some self-healing. Does Leroy have anything to follow? Darkness, potentially keeping him alive. Stun versus Dalaran, maybe can get a shield. Does have a demon that he can slay, picking up the soul, catching up a lot of healing. And Dalaran's getting hit with a silence. Unable to heal himself. So actually for Leroy, it's a lot of control. If Leroy gets another stun to Dalaran, he could be in a fantastic spot. Leroy just needs another demon proc if he can. Try to see if he can get away from the Paladin. Reversing back up out of there. Does he have anything to follow? Big rush past Dalaran. With the Paladin stunning him down. The Hammer of Justice holding him in place. Leroy needs someone for this one. Stun reversal back into Dalaran. Has a trinket. Interrupting him on I-beam. Gonna be a big blade dance. Dalaran having to go for a bubble. And this is where Demon Hunter retreats out of there behind the pillar while the Paladin is holding onto an immunity. This is actually a really close duel. The Paladin and the Monk and the Demon Hunter could be in this game. Massive bodied. Oh my god. Leroy just bodied him with a hunt. Rushed him down. Took him to the ground. Had to go one more ability swing in there. Namzi gonna be up next. I like that set, by the way. That looks good. Namzi, I think first time dueling in these duels as well. Try to see if he can maybe take down Leroy. Leroy spawning in a demon, slaying it immediately. Got himself a lot of healing from it. Got himself a pretty big leech build going up in the air. Namzi kind of out in the open. Could go for some self-healing. Trying to go for some damage. Do they have better range than Leroy? They have some range abilities, but Leroy is just pelting him with a fell barrage from the sky. Picking up a demon soul as he swings past Namzi. That is looking to go for a little bit of range I-beam damage, but not really trying to get in the melee of Namzi. Metamorphosis right on top of him, backflipping out of there, rushing past him, stun, does have a big soul cleave, forcing out a bubble out of the Paladin, and backs up out of there immediately as soon as he sees the bubble. This is where Leroy needs himself like a demon spawn. He actually has Namzi on the ropes. Repentance does get an interrupt on it. I-beam to follow, cleaving him down. Leroy coming back out on top. Over on PTR, Leroy was a very much dominant force in these duels. Unless he is trying to regain that dominance again. Over in the beta. Q-Rax is going to be up next. Got himself the swarm preemptively. Trying to see maybe if you could wait out that Metamorphosis versus Leroy. Did you just blind a little early? I think that might have been a blinding seed very, very early. So maybe it was a little quick on it. Maybe expect for Leroy to charge at him. But it's going to be a not an AMS. Spell Warden for Q-Rax. Stun onto Leroy. Does get a blind. There's going to be a trinket. Do you try to grip him or stun him or what? Silence. And Q-Rax avoids the silence. Leroy with a hunt. Trying to go for all the undeads. Could potentially cleave down the undeads and get a lot of healing from them. It looks like it's exactly what's happening. He got the hunt on the demon undeads and he's trying to see if he can generate some healing off the undeads. Slaying the demon, gets himself a lot of healing, silenced by the Death Knight, but that's where Leroy's got to back up out of there. Seeing that silence, a lot of his abilities are locked out for a moment. Gonna back up out of there for a sec. Kirax did have to sacrifice his pet, trying to see if he can get a new one up and running. Gargoyle joins in, which is gonna add a little bit more damage to Kirax. It's more passive damage rather than bursty. Stun to Leroy, grouping him to follow. Does the Demon Hunter have any outs? Does have an immunity, but does he have anything to follow? He has a blind right after. Does he have anything whatsoever? I-beam, what's at all? Stun AoE onto these pets, but an AMS was already there for Kirax. Does have the demon that he could slay and catch up a lot of that healing. This man is literally living off of demon souls. He gets so low on health. Plugs demon souls on a PS5. And he's back up to full, man. He got an Estus flask on him. Jesus. Gonna be Army of the Dead join in. Leroy is kind of limited what he can do. Fear onto Kirax. Does not have eligible for this one. Does get the I-beam. Hunt. Cleaving all through all these pets. Gonna be AMS for Kirax, trying to avoid as much damage out of the Demon Hunter. Goes up in the air, gets yoinked back down with the silence, limited on what he can do. And Leroy trying to see if he can back up out of that until he gets something else. Gonna be a Metamorphosis, stunning Kirax, trying to go for a big Soul Cleave. Is that gonna be enough? Big Blade Dance to follow. Kirax is gonna be stunned yet again. IBM right after. The Death Knight has nothing left, trying to go for a Death Pact. Sacrificing and make it back with the death, but he's limited on the amount of healing. He borrowed some health from Death itself, but he can't really use any healing abilities in order to recover. That's all he's dealing with. He's dealing with his death for a little bit longer. Another demon joins in. Kirax needs to make a play as soon as possible, because Zero can just slay the demon anytime he wants to. And it looks like Kirax... Wait, what is that Sleet ability in front of you? That is not Blinding Sleet, is it? Sounds like Kirax may be limited on what he can really do. Leroy slaying that demon. Kirax trying to recover a couple of more death strikes. And Kirax does have AMS for this one. He's going to pre-AMS before Leroy goes in for any kind of stunts. Trying to avoid the Chaos Magic damage from Leroy. Stunned by the Death Knight is going to be tricked out of Leroy. Kirax trying to see if maybe set up some damage with Leroy. Interrupting him on the I-Beam. Back it up away from him. Is going to be a Blinding Seat in order to control the Demon Hunter as best as possible. As Kirax got no health whatsoever. Stun around the corner. Has a trick for it. Does he have a Death Strike? He desperately needs a Death Strike or something. AMZ may be kind of helpful here. May want to use it. I don't really know if it'll help you much. It looks like Leroy does catch him around the corner, charges right through him, slices him in two. With Adrian going to be up next as a monk. Last one holding the fort over for the team one. Leroy given the proper opportunity to at least catch up a little bit of healing. Adrian not charging out him, giving him a bit of an honor duel until he knows that Leroy is actually ready. Adrian with a leg sweep, images are up and running. Guvik, Fist of Fury, trying to see if he can blast out Leroy into a stun, reversing it, trinket out of Adrian, and that's going to be potentially Leroy could get himself a little bit of healing, does get a stun versus Adrian. That's going to be, I think, a hunt together with a Soul Cleave. I may have missed it, but that's what it looks like. Going to be a Ring of Peace, not really stopping him. Adrian backing up out of this, so he sees Demon Hunter catching back up to him, trying to go for Revivifies. And that's going to be Leroy still hot on his tail. Fist of Fury trying to see if he can lock him out. Leroy goes up in the air, just trying to see if he can barrage him. Adrian narrowly escapes it, trying to go for as much self-healing without Soothing Miss. He got Soothing in order to give himself healing over time, making those Vivifies instant cast. So if he can get behind the pillar, that gives him a lot of healing output. I think it's interesting how they added Soothing Mist to Windwalker. It does make you immobile because you got to soothe, but it does give you instant cast healing, which is kind of nutty. It's an interesting dynamic. I wonder if they'll keep it. In cap onto Leroy, but the demon is going to be able to break him out of it. Interrupt under Adrian does get cut down. Leroy is back out on top. This demon hunter is back out here hunting these boys down. 5-0 as the man heals for quite a lot actually. 3.6 mil, 5.6 mil damage. Leroy makes a return after a little bit of a rough start to, this morning or this evening. Leroy makes a return.